Hey guys, my name is Cristiana and I'm Portuguese. Half a year ago, when I found out we learning 3D at college, I decided to try and get a jump start and thought recording my process in progress might help others and myself learn better and get better, and this was a way to do it together. So, for my first video, I'll be modeling a cute scene with a kitty and a mouse, and I'm gonna start with a cat, so let's get to it. Let's start by hitting Alt A and adding a cube. We're gonna go ahead and add a subdivision modifier and increase the levels by 1. Tab into edit mode and hit Ctrl R to add a loop cut and drag it almost all the way down. Then add another one around the middle of the shape and scale the bottom face down using Alt Z so you can go into wireframe mode and select all edges. Using this method, you can adjust this shape however you like. We'll be making a stylized cat, so this is gonna be both its body and head. Alright, so I'm fairly happy with how my little blob is looking, so next we'll be making the eyes. For that, I'll be increasing our subdivision levels to 3 and pressing Ctrl A to apply it. Go into edit mode, and with our mesh already subdivided, we're gonna select the faces where our kitty's eyes are gonna be. Press X and delete faces. Tap 2 to select edges. Hold Alt and Shift and select both of the shapes, right click, go to Loop Tools and click Circle. Press F to create the faces, P to open the separate menu, and click by selection. That will turn our selection into a new object. With this new object selected, I'm gonna add a solidify to add thickness to our circles. You can adjust the thickness any way you like, it's really up to you. I always like to check how my shapes look like smooth, and that includes sometimes having to mess with the auto smooth values. Using G, move the eyes a bit further in the Y-axis so they stick out a bit, and apply the Solidify modifier. In edit mode, press 3 to select faces, and Ctrl B to bevel it out a bit. Alt Z and let's select one eye. Holding Ctrl, we're gonna scale it up 1 unit, like so. We'll do the same for the other eye. Adjust the general positioning until you're satisfied, and let's move on to the pupils. For the pupils, we're gonna select the eyes and go into edit mode. Select the front faces of each eye, P, and click selection, same as we did before. Adjust the size and positioning to your liking and so that it looks right. Throw a solidify modifier in and adjust the thickness. Take as long as you need to get the spot just right. I found it best to toggle X mirror on and work on one eye only. Give it a bevel and you're good to go. Now you might notice that the eyes no longer have a front face, so let's go ahead into edit mode and select the front edges and hit F to create them. Okay, since that's looking nice, let's give it a nose. Alt A and add a cube. Scale it down to the desired size and either drag it aside or hit the numpad period or the divide button so you can isolate it. Edit mode, 3 to select faces and scale the bottom face way down. Ctrl R to add a loop cut in the middle and S to scale it up a bit. Select the outer edges of the nose as well as the top side ones and Ctrl B to give them a nice smooth bevel. Alt Z and play around with the shape until it looks cool. Hit G and X to bring it back to your kitty's face. Right click and set origin to center of mass. I'm gonna bring it down a bit on the Z axis and rotate it on the X axis. Now into edit mode, I have the top of my nose selected and I can just rotate it on the X as well to make it look a little less pointy. Doing the same we did for the eyes, let's select the faces where we want the mouth to be. We'll go ahead and hit X, delete faces, select the loop tools, choose a circle option and scale it up on the X axis using S, then X and F to fill in the face. But this time we want the mouth to go a bit inside the head, so we're gonna use E to extrude and push it in a bit on the Y axis. Using Alt Z will help you see it better. That seems okay. Shade smooth and check it out, and if you're content, let's do some ears. Move to top view, hold shift and right click where the ears are gonna be. Add a cube and scale it down like that. With the wireframe on, in edit mode, scale down the top of the cube and rotate it on Y. Move it up a bit and on edit mode press O to turn on proportional editing. Ctrl R to add a loop cut on the middle and scale it up a little. Scale the top of the ear down a bit as well, and then on the side view we'll make the ear a bit narrower by scaling it down on the Y axis. Let's add a subdivision modifier, and on edit mode, let's add a loop cut and drag it close to the top of the ear. Let's do the same on the lower part of the ear, so we get more of a sharper edge. Increase the subdivision levels, Alt Z into wireframe, once select vertices, and with the proportional editing tool on, let's individually adjust each of these. Again, the position and rotation of the ear will depend on your personal likings, but I want to make my cat some big, tall but narrow square ears. Check how it looks on Shade Smooth, check how thick it is, adjust as you please. I've come to realize there are many ways to do things in Blender and other 3D programs. You really just have to experiment and find what type of workflow works best for you, keeping in mind it also never stops evolving. Alright, so now that we've got a handsome ear, let's give it a mirror modifier. Grab that eyedropper tool and click on the object you want to attach the ears to. And we've given our kitty a fresh pair of cool ears we can adjust by using G. That seems to be looking nice. Let's check it in cycles where everything is usually prettier. Okay, so that's looking cool, but I think I'm still gonna adjust the ears just a tiny bit more. Alright then, let's give this beast some teethies. Alt right click to place origin where the teeth will be and add a cube, scale it down, wireframe mode and scale down the bottom face. Okay, I want to bevel it so I can scale it down so much, so let's do that again, like so. A to select all, Ctrl B and drag to bevel. Adjust the positioning, resize and edit as needed so it looks crisp and doesn't create any artifact in there like it is right now, where you can see the teeth coming out of the face. In object mode, throw in a mirror modifier and get those spheres teeth in place. For the tongue, place the 3D cursor where you want it to be, add the UV sphere and decrease the number of segments. I used 8 because I'm doing very low poly for this scene and the tongue is gonna be very small. Scale it down and scale it down on Z. Adjust the general size until it looks right. Place it on the bottom of the mouth, push to the back. Shade smooth and adjust. Don't forget that if you scale an object while in object mode, you'll need to apply the rescale using Ctrl A and then clicking Scale. Now switch to back view and let's create a tail. For this we're going to use a type of object that doesn't come enabled on Blender by default, but which can be easily activated, and I'm going to quickly show you how to do it since we're going to use it quite a bit during this tutorial. That object is a single vert, and if you already have this add-on, well, on, you can skip this part in the timestamps down below. We'll go to Edit on the top bar, where you'll see Preferences at the bottom of the drop-down menu. Click on it, go to Add-ons, and on the little search bar type Extra Objects. Then just check that little box right there that says Mesh and you're ready to go. No further confirmation needed and the add-on is enabled. Now that we've activated our extras, we can normally hit Alt-A, go to Mesh and notice how now we have the single vert option. So we're gonna go ahead and add one. Apparently nothing happens and that's because it's just a vert and it needs a skin to be visible. So we'll go to modifiers and add a skin modifier. This turns it to a cube and now we can give it a subdivision as well, so we can shape it and increase the levels by 1. Tab into edit mode and just some quick tips on single verts. The first thing you need to know about single verts is that it's a vert. So in order to edit it and create shapes with it, you need to be in vertex select mode. And the second thing is that they kind of work like paths, so you generally need to extend them by extruding them, and the shape kind of builds around them. Think about it as the bone inside the skin, since it literally needs a skin modifier. In the gist, that means that to properly be aware of what you're doing when modeling a single vert, you need to be in wireframe mode. So let's smash that Alt-Z, select the vert, and to scale it, instead of S, you can use Ctrl-A. E to extrude it, position as you like. Go to back view. Extrude up, then move it a bit on the x-axis to give it a kind of a zigzag motion. Extrude a few more times and then select the base word. Extrude it a bit inside the cat. Select the inner vertex and on the skin modifier panel, click Mark Root. Adjust the general positioning using G, but also keep in mind that the tail won't show much in our camera angle. That looks great to me. Now onto the eyebrows. Let's get the 3D cursor where the eyebrows are gonna go. Alt A and again mesh, single vert and add single vert. Skin modifier and subdivision modifier and increase levels to 2, same as before. Edit mode, press 1, Ctrl A and scale down. Extrude outwards twice, forming a wide angle V shape like that. Click A to select all vertices and Ctrl A plus X to scale them down on this axis. On top view, adjust the vertices so the shape curves a little and go back into object mode. Press R, then Z to rotate the eyebrow so it attaches to the head in a natural looking way. Give it a mirror modifier and I drop the head and you got yourself 2 beautiful eyebrows and 1 beautiful cat. Make all the adjustments you see fit to make your kitty look the flyest. When you're finished, move it up so it's standing right on the 0 coordinate of the z-axis, right-click and select Snap, and on the drop-down, click Set 3D Cursor to World Origin. Alt A and add a plane. Scale it up and get into edit mode. Press 2 and select the back edge of the plane. E plus Z to extrude it up. Then select the edge connecting the two planes and bevel it with Ctrl B, using your mouse wheel to increase the number of segments and smooth out the bevel, and finally shade smooth it. Now it's time to set our camera to see how our kitty is looking at our first render. So there are a lot of ways to set your camera. In this specific case, I'll be using walk navigation, which simulates in-game camera mechanics. If you want to try this camera setting method, with your camera selected you can press space and type walk, and the walk navigation option should appear. Then, on the side menu, click on the Render tab and select the engine and number of frames you want to render your kitty, and hit F12 to render. I think I'll call him Robert. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing. I'll be releasing the next part of this tutorial within the next few days, where we will model this handsome little mouse. To keep Robert some company, feel free to follow me on my social media, and I guess I'll see you in the next video.